and to our Shabbat morning worship service. It's in the context of our Sabbath worship that we celebrate young people becoming adults, and today we celebrate Sophie Coker becoming an adult in the Jewish community. So, since it's in the context of a prayer service, I want you to be able to participate as she leads you in prayer. We need you to respond in prayer. So everyone needs to have one of these books. And if there's not one right near you, there should be some elsewhere in the pews or some outside. It opens the opposite way that you might be used to. It's a Hebrew book. It says, Mishkan Tefillah, a Reform Sidur. Okay, so the prayer book, when you open it up, there are a number of different kinds of print in it. The Hebrew are the letters that some of you can read, and others of you may not be able to, and it is read from right to left. Next to it, there's transliteration, which is Hebrew written in English letters, so you can sound it out if you want to follow as you're reading or chanting something. Beneath it, there's English, and that's a translation of what it says in the Hebrew, so you can follow the meaning of the prayers as we move through the service. Most everything is translated with a couple of exceptions. The word for God is not always translated, so it says Adonai, and Adonai is the Hebrew word which means my Lord, quite literally, Adonai, my Lord. So it's a name for God, so I want you to know that that's what that means. The other word not translated is Shabbat. Shabbat is the Hebrew word for Sabbath. So you'll know what that is as we come to it in the service as well. Some of you have a book that's a little smaller than this, and it just says it's a book for the Sabbath. There are two sets of page numbers in those books. One set's in parentheses and brackets, and the other set is not. The page numbers I'm going to be calling out are the ones that are in the parentheses. So if you have one of the smaller books, that's how you'll be able to follow where we are in the service. If you have a cell phone or a pager or any other electronic devices, please turn them off or silence them. This is a worship service, and you'll have opportunities to take pictures and all of those things later, but please not during the service. Okay, so I think I've covered most of those basic parts. Sophie's going to be leading much of the service, assisted by myself and Josh Wallenstein and other members of the family and friends. So as they lead you through the service, if she asks you to please read responsibly, please follow what she tells you, and she'll be guiding you through where to be turning in our book as well. We begin in Psalm on page 192 with the singing of Ma Tovu. Page 192.
Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Va'ani berov chastecha, avo veitecha, eshtachavech al kodshecha, ve'iratecha, Adonai ahavti, me'on beitecha, u'mekom mishkan kvodecha, Mishkan kvodecha, Ma Tovu, Ma Tovu, Tfilati lecha, Adonai Evratzon, Elohim berov chastecha, Elohim berov chastecha, Aneni be'emet yishecha, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael, Ma tovu, Ma tovu, Ohalecha Yaakov, Mishkenotecha Yisrael.
How fair are your tents, O Jacob, your dwellings, O Israel. I, through your abundant love, enter your house. I bow down in awe at your holy temple. Adonai, I love your temple abode, the dwelling's place of your glory. I will humbly bow down low before Adonai, my Maker. As for me, may my prayer come to you, Adonai, at a favorable time. O God, in your abundant faithfulness, answer me with your sure deliverance. The service continues on page 198. We continue responsibly. I'll read the Hebrew and you read the English. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan l'sechti vina l'havhin bein yom uvein laila.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who has given mankind the ability to distinguish good and bad.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Pelkei Yach Ivrim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who opens the eyes of the blind.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Matir HaSurim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who frees the captive.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Zokef Kefufim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who lifts up the fallen.
Continue on page 200. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Rokach haaretz al hamayim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who stretches your vertical waters.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hamihim mitzedei gaber.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who strengthens our steps.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Malbish arimim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who clothes the naked.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hanotan la'ev koach.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who gives strength to the weary.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Hama'avir shina me'enai u'numa me'avakai.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who rules the eyes of the
Continue on page 202. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, She'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me the image of God.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, She'asani b'at chorin.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who makes me free.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, She'asani Yisrael.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who made me a Jew.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oser Yisrael b'gvura.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who girds Israel with strength.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Oter Yisrael b'tifara.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who crowns Israel with splendor.
Please turn to page 204. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah. Our service continues on page 206. These are things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruit of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study, morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
At this time, I'd like to invite Rabbi Rachel Esserman to come forward to present Sophie with her tallit.
Rachel asked me to do this because any of the kids who are here in the Hebrew school know that I do something a little different when I put my tallit on. And it's actually very appropriate for what Sophie is doing here today. Because I started wrapping my tallit around my head when I started leading services, because it was my last moment as a person praying by myself as opposed to being the shliach shibur, the leader of the congregation. Today, Sophie, for the first time, is doing that, and there's something in my mind, it's something wonderful when I wrap that around, and I kept doing it because it gives me a moment before I pray to appreciate myself and to be at peace before I do it. So this is one of the first adult things that Sophie is doing, is leading the service. And I said, Rachel thought it would be appropriate, and actually it was magically better than this one jersey. So let's put this, and we're both going to do this together and say the blessing for tzitzit, for the fringes that we're required to wear. And the blessing actually has that we unwrap ourselves in it. So it's really important. We're like my time tonight. And here we go. I should be checking this. Greatest are you, eternal one, sovereign of the universe, who commanded us, who sanctified us and commanded us to wrap ourselves.
Please turn to page 224 for the Reader's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash le'rada. Amen. Yivrachu te'vim l'chachutei. V'chayechon u'yomechon. U'chayet te'kol Beit Yisrael. Ubizman Kariv Vimaru Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevorach Le'olam Yolam Me'omaya Yitbarach Frish Tabach V'yitpa'ar V'yitramon V'yitnasei V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalo Shemei Nekudesha Barichu Le'elam Yinkol Berchata V'shirata Tushbechata V'nechemata Dalamid Ram Be'alma Vimaru Amen. We turn to page 226.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Our service continues at the top of page 229. In the beginning, even then, a new light was sown for the righteous. I promised that your light would become the catalyst, first for order and then for hope. Author of language and light, help us to use words as you have, to cast light into dark waters and draw out justice and truth. We continue in the middle of page 231. Love your neighbor as yourself, you said, and light-blinded we saw, that inner and outer worlds are one, as you are one. We spoke and we wrote. We reached for you down the centuries, Your light moving before us as we climbed, fell back and climbed again, your Sinai of life. We continue on page 232 together. Please turn to page 239. We read responsibly. Amen. There is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. And that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way, true and enduring in His Torah. Your truth truth for us is certain and established, now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sang out and rejoice.
Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh Norah tehilot oseh felech oseh felech Mi chamocha va'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Please rise for the tefillah on page 242.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Our service continues on page 244. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imateinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'kamei Hakol, V'zocher Hatzkeyavel V'ima'ot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Avraham, V'Yizrat Sarah. Our service continues on the next page. It was the day you defended Abraham, the very day you took note of Sarah. The pledge of the covenant, crystal grains, stars of heaven, pinpricks of fire to flame eternal, radiating from the past, your promise lights the future. We continue on page 246. Atagi Borle Adonai, Mechayei Hakol Atah V'Hoshia, Morid Ha'atal, Mechakel Ha'im B'Chesed, Mechayei Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot, Umidol Melach, Melech Meimit Umechayei, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman Atalachayot Hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, B'chayei ha'akol. You are forever mighty, Adonai. You give life to all. You reign through upon us. You sustain life through love, giving life to all through great compassion, supporting the fallen, healing the sick, freeing the captive, keeping faith with those who slept in the dust. Who is like you, source of mighty acts? Who resembles you, a sovereign who takes and gives life, causing deliverance to spring up and faithfully giving life to all? Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives life to all. We continue on page 248. Mekadesh Shimcha Ba'olam, Keshem Shemati Shimo, Tovish Memorom, Kakatu Ba'yad Niviecha, Bekaraz El-Zer Be'omar, Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melo Kol Haaretz, Kivodo, Adir Adir b'kol ha'aretz. Baruch kivod Adonai mimkomo. Echad hu Eloheinu, hu Avinu Malkeinu, hu Moshienu v'hu Yashmienu, v'rachamav le'enei kol chai. Ani Adonai Eloheihem, Yiloch Adonai le'olam, Elohai Yitzion, L'dor vador, Hallelujah. L'dor vador nagi kodecha, u'netzach netzachim kadishacha nagdish, V'shivchacha Eloheinu, mipinu lo yamush le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el ha'kadosh. To all generations we declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated and turn to page 250 of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashamat לעשות את השבת לדורתם בריתות. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashamat לעשות את השבת לדורתם בריתות. Ve'ni uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et hashamat לעשות את השבת לדורתם בריתות. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם בריתות. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם בריתות.
Please turn to the top of page 253. We offer thanks, O God, for this Shabbat, which unites us in faith and hope. We continue together. For Shabbat memories, which inspire sacred living. For Shabbat memories, glowing even in darkness. For Shabbat peace, born of friendship and love. We offer thanks and blessing of God. Please turn to the top of page, please turn to page 254.
Yitzeh Adonai Eloheinu le'amecha Yisrael u'tefilatam be'ahava tikabel.
We continue responsibly on page 257. I'll read the first paragraph, you follow. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies, filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modi menach lilach.
For the sky and earth, times and tides, sunsets and seasons, Modi menach lilach.
For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements. Modi menach lilach.
For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression.
For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modi menach lilach.
For all who have labored and suffered for a fairer world, who have lived so that others might live with dignity and freedom. Modi menach lilach.
For human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modi menach lilach.
We pray that we may live not by our fears but by our hopes, not by our words but by our deeds.
Blessed are you, Adonai, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of thanksgiving. Our service continues on 258. We read together in the English. Grant peace, goodness, and blessing, grace, kindness, and mercy to us and to all your people of Israel. Bless us, our Creator, all of us together, through the light of your presence. Truly, through the light of your presence, Adonai, our God, you gave us the sword of life, love, kindness, justice, and blessing, mercy, life, and peace. May you see fit to bless your people of Israel at all times and at every hour with your peace. Praise you, Adonai, who blesses your people of Israel with peace. We continue with Odiavo Shalom on page 657.
Page 657.
Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Odiavo Shalom Aleinu. Ve'al kulam. Salam. Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. 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 Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam. Salam. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu. Od yavo shalom aleinu ve'al kulam.
We pray silently, either the words in our own hearts and our own minds, or you may turn to pages 260 and 261 in our prayer books for a number of other choices of prayers.
also imrefi. You're also imrefi. Hegion libi lefanecha. Adonai tzuri v'goali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. O say shalom bimromav. Hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'imru. Amen.
We turn in our prayer books to page 362 for Seder Kriyat HaTorah, for the service, for the reading of the Torah. At this time, I'd like to invite Charlotte and Lucy Coker to come forward as they will be opening the Ark for us, the Ark of Kodesh. And then I'd like to invite Paul Dickler, Jan Dickler, Eric Coker, and Rachel Coker to come forward as they will be passing the Torah to Sophie. Page 362. Please rise.
Your people have gathered to hear your word. May your spirit surround us, our voices be heard. There is none like you, no deed can compare. In every generation we have offered our prayer. Ein kemocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshatecha b'chol dor v'dor. Turn it, reflect and grow. Turn it, and wisdom will flow. Your people have gathered to hear your word. May your spirit surround us, our voices be heard. Ein kamocha ba'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemasecha, malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshatecha b'chol dor v'dor. Av harachamim, heitiv avirtzoncha et Zion, tivnei chomot Yerushalayim, kitivnei chomot Yerushalayim, kivecha levad batachnu, melech el ram v'nisa, Adon olamim.
At this moment, we are about to take out the Torah. Today, this is your Torah, Sophie. Tomorrow, you'll hand it to your children, as yesterday it was handed to your ancestors in Israel. The Torah transcends time and place, and its teachings are for all times and all places. The Torah symbolizes Jewish hope, and through hope, Jewish survival. And so it comes to you, Lador Bador, from generation to generation. Grandparents, parents, grandchildren. This is your time in Jewish continuity. Take its teachings to your heart and in turn pass it on to your children and to those who will come after you. May you be a faithful Jew, searching for wisdom and truth and working for justice and for peace. May the light of Torah shine within you, and may you continue to grow in body and in mind, in soul and in character.
Ki mitzion texet Torah, Ki mitzion texet Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato.
Sophie will be reading a prayer for family that is not found in your prayer books.
Vinu Malkeinu, bless my family with peace. Teach us to appreciate the treasure of our lives. Help us always to find contentment in one another. Save us from dissension and jealousy. Shield us from pettiness and rivalry. May selfish pride not divide us. May pride in one another unite us. Help us to renew our love for one another continually. In the light of your Torah, grant us, the people of Israel and all your creatures everywhere, health and fulfillment, harmony, peace, and joy. Amen.
Amen.
Sophie will lead us in the Shema, which you will find in your prayer books on page 366.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo.
Adul Adonai iti, Neneromema Shema Yavdam.
Adonai Hagidula, V'Hagibura, V'Hatiferet, V'Hanetzach, V'Ha'od. Ki chol hashamayim u'haaretz, Ki chol hashamayim u'haaretz, Lecha Adonai, Hariv na'aseh. Shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut hasadim. Al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, al shlosha devarim, ha'olam omed. Romeru Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Romeru Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodesho. Ki kadosh shatavu lehar kosho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'nishtachavu lehar kosho.
Please be seated. This time in our service prior to the Torah reading, we offer a prayer for healing, a prayer for those in our congregation, for friends and community in need of our special prayers this morning. I will offer a prayer in the English and include a list of names that I've been asked to read, and then I will look around if you have any other names that you would like to add to our prayer list this morning. Please do so when I look in your direction, and then we will sing together the healing prayer Mishaberach. That is the indented part in the middle, page 371. Page 371. And prayer is both in Hebrew and in English. God, in our hearts, we name those who are facing illness and pain, and we join our prayers with the prayers of all who love them. Eric Berkowitz, Laura Burns, James E. Bischoff, Rona Bluestein, Frank Urla, Eugene DeVere, Kiki Durgan, Emma Farman, Monica Fernandez, Dora Foyer, Carol Gage, Steve Goldenberg, Aaron Grant, Sandra Foreman, Stephen Friedman, Carol Germain, Newton Greenberg, Sandy Gutman, Marguerite Kirschheimer, Carol Kliansky, Moshe Leib Ben-Hana, Frank Orzelik, Fritz Orzelik, Deborah Pomeroy, Connor Stanton, Meryl Wallach, Rhonda Waxman, Debbie Weinstein, Elena Witter, Brian Zabel. Give them renewed comfort and courage. Strengthen in them the healing powers you have placed within us all. Guide the hands and hearts of those who are entrusted with your care. May the knowledge of your love and ours give added hope to them and to their dear ones. May they find even greater strength because our prayers are linked with theirs. Baruch atah Adonai Raveh Chalim, we praise you, God, the source of healing and health, as together we sing.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
The Torah portion for this Shabbat morning is Korach, and Sophie will be reading 3 different parts of the portion with 3 different people or groups of people doing the Torah blessings. I will call people up by their Hebrew and English names. The third aliyah, the third set of blessings, belongs to Sophie, and at that point, when she chants the blessings and reads the Torah, that really is the moment of becoming an adult, doing something in the Jewish community she could not have done before. 4 and celebrating becoming an adult here. You will hear the English of the portion a little bit later, and she will be telling you how she has found meaning in the text a little bit later in the service as well. You can find the Torah blessings in your prayer books on page 368. Page 368. Ya'amod, Pesach, and Heshel Vihutich, all declared.
Baruch Hu es Adonai Hamvorach. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Loed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher borcha banu mikol ha'amin. V'nosan lanu es Toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. V'yikach Korach ben Yitzhar ben Kehat ben Levi. V'datan v'Aviram b'nei Eliyav ben Pelet b'nei Reuven. V'yakumu livnei Moshe v'anashim livnei Yisrael. Hamishim u'matayim nesiei eda kriyei moed anshe Shem. V'yikavu al Moshe ve'al Aharon. V'yamru alehem rav lechem ki kol ha'ada kulam kedoshim u'tocham Adonai u'madua titnasu al kehal Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher nasan lanu Toras emes, v'chayei olam notad v'sochinu. Baruch atah Adonai, nosein HaTorah.
Amen. Ta'amud, Shulamit bar Avraham v'Sarah, v'Rachel bar Pesach v'Shulamit, Jan Tiffler, Rachel Coker, and Aaron Coker.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Moshe el Korach shinu na b'nei Levi. Hamayat mikem ki hivdil Elohei Yisrael etchem me'adat Yisrael lahakriv etchem elav avod et avodat. Mishkan Adonai v'la'amod lifnei ha'edah l'shartam. Vayakrev ozcha v'et kol ahecha b'nei Levi. Itach u'vikashtim gan kehuna. Lachen atcha v'chol adatcha kanu adim al Adonai v'aharon lahu ki talinu alav.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah. Amen.
Ta'amud, mitzvah hazeh, ta'amud, Sarah Miriam bar Rachel, chazak chazak, v'chazak, Sophie Coker.
Baruch Hu Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Notein HaTorah. Vayakam Moshe vayelech el Datan v'Aviram. Vayelchu acharav ziknei Yisrael. Vayedaber el ha'edah lemor suru na me'al ohalei ha'anashim harashaim ha'ele ve'al tigu b'chol asher lachem. Pen tisafu b'chol chatotam. Vayehalu me'al mishkan korach Datan v'Aviram. Misaviv ודתן ואבירם יצאו ניצבים פתח אוהליהם ונשיהם ובניהם וטח. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ruth Jensen Corbell to come forward to read the English of the portion we just heard read in the
Now Korah, son of Ishar, son of Kohath, son of Levi, betook himself, along with Dathan and Abiram, sons of Eliab, and On, son of Peleth, descendants of Reuben, to rise up against Moses together with 250 Israelite notables, chieftains of the community, chosen in the assembly with fine reputations. They combined against Moses and Aaron and said to them, "You have gone too far. For all the community are holy, all of them, and the Eternal is in their midst. Why then do you raise yourselves above the Eternal's congregation?" And Moses said further to Korah, "Hear me, son of Levi. It is not enough for you. Is it not enough for you that the God of Israel has set you apart from the community of Israel and given you direct access to perform the duties of the Eternal's tabernacle and to minister to the community and serve them? Now that God has advanced you and all your fellow Levites with you, do you seek the priesthood too? Truly, it is against the Eternal, for that you and all your company have banded together. For who is Aaron that you should rail against him?" Moses rose and went to Dathan and Abiram, the elders of Israel, following him. He addressed the community, saying, "Move away from the tents of these wicked fellows and touch nothing that belongs to them, lest you be wiped out for all their sins." So they withdrew from about the abodes of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Now Dathan and Abiram came out and stood at the entrance of their tents with their wives, their children, and their little ones.
At this time, I would like to ask Jesse Dickler and Ethan Dickler to please come up to the bima. We turn in our prayer books to page 374. I'm sorry, page 370, excuse me. And we rise as the Torah is lifted for us to see the text.
Zota Torah Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Al Pi Adonai V'yad Moshe Zota Torah Asher Sam Moshe Lifnei Bnei Yisrael Al Pi Adonai B'yad Moshe. Lai, 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 lai,
Please be seated. Along with reading from the Torah, we We also read a section from the prophets on Shabbat. There was a time in Europe when it was punishable by death for Jews to study Torah. So the way that the Jewish community got around it was they picked a section from one of the books in the prophets that had a thematic connection to the Torah portion for that week. And they could read that section and have a discussion on the same concepts and live and still perpetuate Jewish thought and learning. So we remember that by not only reading from the Torah on Shabbat, but also reading from the prophets. You will find the blessings for the Haftorah on page 372 in your prayer books. And Sophie will be doing the blessings and the chanting from the book of 1 Samuel, starting in chapter 11, verse 14. She will be chanting.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzav v'divreihem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai habocher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayomer Shoel el ha'am lechu v'nocha ha'gilgal u'hadei sham ha'mucha v'yalchu kol ha'am ha'gilgal v'yamlichu sham et Shaul lifnei Adonai b'gilgal v'yizbechu sham zevarchim shamim lifnei Adonai v'yizmach sham Shaul v'chol anshe Yisrael ad me'od. Vayomer Shmuel el chol Yisrael hinei shama'ati v'kolchem v'chol asher amartem li v'amlich aleihem melech v'yatah hinei hamelech mitalech lifneihem v'ani zakanti v'savti u'vanai hinam mitchem v'ani kitalachti lifneihem mineurai ad hayon hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol ha'dorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'oseh ha'medaber u'mekayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ולתפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
that we just heard chanted in the
Samuel said to the people, "Let us all go up to Gilgal and there renew the kingship." So all the people went to Gilgal, and there at Gilgal, before the Eternal, they crowned Saul king. Then they offered up offerings of well-being to the Eternal One, and along with Saul, they all held a great celebration. Then Samuel said to all Israel, "I have listened to your pleas and done everything you asked of me, and set a king over you. From now on, the king will be your leader. As for me, I'm old and gray. My grown-up sons are among you, and I have been your leader since my youth."
At this time, we turn in our prayer books to page 374, and I'd like to invite Catherine and Emily Sherman to please come up to Bima to open the ark as we prepare to return the Torah to the ark. Please rise. Responsibly at the bottom of page 375, alternating sentences. When Torah entered the world, freedom entered it.
The whole Torah exists only to establish peace.
Its highest teaching is love and kindness.
What is hateful to you,
that is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it.
those who study Torah are true guardians of civilization.
Honoring one another, doing acts of kindness, and making peace, these are our highest duties.
The study of Torah is equal to all, because peace is all.
Let us learn in order to teach.
Let us learn in order to do.
Please be seated. You've had the opportunity to hear Sophie lead the service, read from the Torah, and chant the Haftorah blessings. Now you get the opportunity to hear Sophie's own words and her own thoughts.
This week's Torah portion, called Korach, is about a rebellion. It's from the book of Numbers. There are two conflicts in this portion. One is a challenge to Moses' leadership, while the other focuses on Aaron's religious authority. The story is pretty violent, even gruesome, and shows God getting angry and taking sides in disputes among people. Let's review for a moment where we are at this point in the Torah. The Israelites have left Egypt, where they were slaves, and they are wandering in the desert. Moses is in charge, and his older brother Aaron has been appointed high priest. Imagine you have spent nearly 40 years walking through the desert. You've been hanging out with the same people. You've been eating manna and only manna every day. Maybe you would be annoyed. You might start to question the abilities of the people in charge. You might even start to think that the place you fled from wasn't so terrible after all. That gives you a little insight into the Israelite situation at the beginning of this story. Korah is a cousin of Moses and Aaron. Their fathers were brothers. He becomes jealous of their power. He feels as entitled as Aaron to the role of high priest, and he thinks he has been cheated out of the privilege he should have shared. Korah, a town's public speaker, attracts the support of 250 other chieftains, including 2 men named Datan and Abiram. Korah and his followers mock Moses, and Moses fires back with threats. Once God notices the rebellion, God is angry. Why? God chose Moses and Aaron to be in charge and doesn't want those choices to be questioned. This is not a democracy. Sometimes God gives people second chances. Think about Jonah, for example, but God is pretty angry with Korah. So angry that eventually the ground opens up and swallows Korah, his followers, their houses, and animals, and everything they own. This portion is about leadership. Korah was impatient, immature, and greedy. He didn't have a good reason to rebel, he just didn't like Moses. Really, he wanted to be leader, and he didn't think it was fair that Moses' clan got more glory and fame and wealth. Korah was also mad. He felt Moses didn't keep his promise to bring the Israelites to the land of milk and honey. What can we learn from God's harsh punishment? When I first read this portion, I didn't think it was fair that the rebels were killed. After reading the story in more detail, I can see that one of the lessons of this portion is that you shouldn't rebel for selfish reasons or just because you like someone. This portion encourages us to examine our motivations before objecting to something a leader does. The Torah isn't teaching us that it's always wrong to rebel or to question God. In fact, Moses himself questions God when he is approached at the burning bush. He initially tells God that he can't lead the Exodus, that God should find someone who's a better speaker. I don't always see myself as a leader, but when I think about the lessons of Korah, it makes me want to be the type of leader who considers the consequences for others before taking action. I could use my sense of humor and my communication skills to be a leader who is serious but also knows how to have fun. I want to be a leader who helps others. Helping others is important to me and is a big part of what it means to be Jewish. At Temple Concord, most students preparing to become a bar mitzvah do a service or social action project that benefits the community. We call it a mitzvah project. Mitzvah is a Hebrew word that translates roughly as good deed. I've been wearing glasses since I was 7. Without my glasses, I wouldn't be able to see things at all, really. I couldn't read, watch TV, play my trumpet, or even tie my shoes. My vision is that's bad. For my project, I wanted to do something to help people who have poor vision. It's important for people to see the world around them. I decided to collect used eyeglasses from Temple Concord members, as well as our relatives and friends. I collected a grand total of 312 pairs of glasses. I'm very excited to donate them to New Eyes for the Needy, which will give them to people in other countries who can't afford glasses. I've tried to be a good person in my community, and I know I'm helping when I'm doing this. When you become a bat mitzvah, you're considered an adult in the Jewish community. This means taking on more responsibilities and continuing your Jewish education with a more mature point of view. It isn't about the big party afterwards, and it isn't an excuse to eat cake. It's a big milestone in a Jewish person's life. I can remember receiving a small Torah scroll as a gift when I started religious school in kindergarten. That's a good memory, and I have a lot of other memories of milestones on this bima, including participating in class services and blowing the shofar on the high holidays. Since my mom brought me to temple in a stroller, many of the adults have helped me become the Jew I am today. Many of the adults I see each Shabbat have given me support and offered me help in my bat mitzvah studies, and I am truly grateful for that. This year, I studied with Rabbi Barbara Golden-Mortel, Ilana Siegel, and Orly and Shalom Schiller. They made it fun to study another language, and we learned about more than Hebrew. Rabbi Barbara brings a unique perspective to the Torah portion each week, even helping me find new meaning in a crayon. Ilana showed me ways to connect chanting the Torah to music. Orly taught us what it's like to be a student in Israel and encouraged us to visit someday. Shalom taught us about his family's connections to the Holocaust, and he always takes an interest in our daily lives. These people come to Temple with a smile on their face, and they always pushed us to our limits. I'm also grateful for the religious school and Hebrew teachers I had earlier, including Karen Hammer, Leslie Fazier, and Michelle Artis. I'm going to miss Mrs. Hammer's Candy Thursdays. I'd like to thank my grandparents for their love and support. Bubby, thank you for keeping my shelves stocked with new books to read. Papa Paul and Granny Bridget, I always look forward to visiting your farm, especially feeding the goats and playing with the dogs. Mimi and Papa, thank you for the adventures we've had. I won't tell my mom if you let me drive the motorcycle. Of course, I also have to say something nice to my sister. Charlotte, if Mom hadn't made me write this, I would have thanked you. A sister is a forever friend. That cheesy saying is true. Thanks for coming to my concerts and practices. It's been fun to start repaying the favor. My mom and dad helped me get here today, literally and metaphorically. Thank you for driving me to Temple over and over again. You helped me in so many ways, with music, studying, and just in general, as well as the Temple community. You believe in me. I will always look up to you, too. Some of my friends here today I've known since kindergarten or even before. Others I met just this year. You're all equally special to me. I know I can turn to you to make me smile on a rough day. I'm glad you could come to celebrate with me today. You all mean so much to me and my family, and it's wonderful to see you here. Shabbat Shalom.
I get to stay up here because I want to invite your parents up, as they have some thoughts and words to share with you.
Sophie, for the next few moments, I want you to take in all of the beautiful faces out there. And my parents too. Who have come to be part of this special day. Whether it's starring, supporting, or simply a cameo. Everyone here has had a role in your journey to today, and we thank them for it. Next, I want you to take in this historic building that's been your second home since you were a baby. Behind you are the stairs you tried to climb up during services as a toddler. Out there are the pews you tried to swarm through during services just last month. Temple Concord has not only helped you become an adult Jew, but has laid the foundation for you to make a difference outside of these walls. And for that, we thank leaders and educators such as Rabbi Barbara, Orly and Shalom, Mrs. Hammer, and even classmates, Sammy and Hayden, Eric and Omaha. So now it's your turn to go out and create change in a world that needs a little more peace, love, and understanding. Your mother and I are confident that you'll succeed. We see your growth every day. But perhaps it would benefit our guests if I give them a refresher of the evidence and why your mother and I are so confident. Is that okay with you? It's okay with you? First of all, Sophie is already a New York State champion, a member of the Vestal High School marching band. As a 7th grader, she wasn't afraid to toot her own horn on a team of upperclassmen. Where she gets this trumpet talent from, God only knows. It's not from me, and it's definitely not from her mom. and Delilah, Lydia and Gavin, and even out-of-town pals like Sarah Warren. Sophie's a role model who strives to be a beacon of responsibility to not only the tots of the congregation, but to younger friends and family, like Jackson, Laura, Calla, cousin Lucy, and the person who looks up to her the most, her sister, the mac and cheese kid, Charlotte. And Sophie has 4 extra special traits that she's received from 4 people who have been a major part of her life since she was born. 4 people who continue to inspire us. From Sophie's Papa Paul, Rachel's dad, she gets curiosity. From my father, Sophie's Papa, courage. From Sophie's beloved Bubby, aka Rachel's mom, the gift of creativity. And from Sophie's magnificent meeting, my mom, compassion. Sophie, even after hearing this evidence, there are probably people who are saying, that's it. There's got to be something more. What's the key ingredient to ensure this success in the future? Well, there is one more thing that you have that will ensure your success, and it's something you get from the greatest, most caring person that you and I know, and that's your mother. And that's a big heart. Mazel tov, Sophie. Not only on what you've accomplished today, but for everything you have done leading up to today. Obviously, we love you, but your mom and I are honored to be a part of your life story, and we eagerly anticipate the rest of the chapters, even the teenagers. We only ask that you slow down and make it an easy, breezy read for us.
Please join with us in singing the Shahafiyam prayer, thanking God for allowing us to be able to all be here together to celebrate this special morning with Sophie and with Eric and with Rachel.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'echianu v'kimanu v'heianu l'zman hazeh.
It's a big amen. I'd like to invite Arlene and Shalom Sha'ir to come forward as they have some words to share with you and some gifts on behalf of the congregation.
Becoming a mitzvah, a responsible member in the Jewish community. Welcome to the club. And it has been a real pleasure to teach you and have you in the school, and the teachers that are sitting here will agree with me. And I learned this year that you have high expectations of yourself, and you leading the service today just showed it. You made it look so easy, and it's not. We all know it's not. So you did a beautiful job. Again, Mazal Tov to you. Mazal Tov to your parents who are committed to Jewish education and to your family. And we have few gifts on behalf of the temple.
First, Mazel Tov to my name too. We did a wonderful job. We have few gifts from the temple. The first gift is the Tanakh, which is the Torah, the writing, the prophets, filled with our stories and histories, make it always stay relevant. And just for footnote, I know you love to read. This book is on best-selling books for the last 2,000 years. And the most translated book for the last 2,000 years, so I strongly encourage you to read it. And as we've done wonderfully before, you took what you read and make it relevant to you. So I wish you always stay relevant in your life. Read it so it can help you guide to the journey of life and see the better life with or without glasses. So I strongly recommend. Also we have the prayer book that we just used, the Mishkan Torah, Mishkan Tefillah, thank you, the travel edition. And it's great because you always carry this day and moment with you wherever you go. We have the engraved Kiddush cup and make you feel with joy and happiness for the rest of your life. We have $250 nifty gift cards going back and visit your roots and visit Israel. And if you stay there long enough, you get my accent, so that's really cool. We have a bar mitzvah certificate signed by the rabbi and also Orly, my school principal, and Mazel Tov, please. Thank you.
It's my turn. So, I've not only known you for 9 years, but you're the only family in this congregation that I can say that I knew your mom and your uncle and your parents for more than 20 years. So I was up on a different bima with Jesse when he became a bar mitzvah. Your mom was in one of my first confirmation classes when I moved to Pennsylvania. And so when I came up here and met your mom the first time I came up, actually to visit before I came up here, it was bringing the worlds together. As our worlds continue together, and now Jan has moved up here, your grandmother lives up here as well, and now the rest of the family is in and out of visiting. It really brings things together in such a nice way to see you grow and become your own person as well. Your mom has been so committed to be sure that this congregation is here for us, for you, for your sister, and others in the future. That she not only has been involved with your education, but even spent a year as president of the congregation to help guide us on the way. And so I thank you and Charlotte and Eric for sharing her with all of us as well to help us on that path. So, as you've already heard, Sophie has high standards for herself. And while you did beautifully, people should know these things don't come naturally to most of us. And so it does take a lot of work and a lot of preparation to be able to read and to speak in another language, to chant, and also to be able, at the age of 13, to put your thoughts together about something which really can be challenging for all of us to look at this Torah portion, as with many others. And we have been blessed with you teaching us Torah today, as your classmates have and will as well. I find one of the great gifts of this work is learning Torah from my students, from those of you 12 and 13, and teenagers, and even young children as well, because we bring our different lenses to the text. So in looking at the portion this week, and we've been looking at this portion for a long time, came up with another thing to consider as to why it was that Korach and Datan and Abiram and everybody else was so agitated. Because in last week's Torah portion, they got told when the spies went into the Promised Land and said, there's no way we can go in there, and they didn't have faith in God, that God realized these are not the people who could ever enter the Promised Land. So they just found out that they don't get to enter the Promised Land, only their children do. So add that onto the manna and the wandering and all of that. Literally, they're saying, you said you were going to take us to the land flowing with milk and honey, but we don't get to enter it. Only our children do. So there's a lot of reason for angst. We live in a world with a lot of angst. And so the challenge of what we do with that angst and what we do when other people are acting with their angst in ways that really are destructive and not appropriate and not respectful of one another is a challenge in our world. You expressed here that you never thought of yourself as a leader, but maybe you do have to think of yourself as a leader and how you are going to conduct yourself and the standard you have for yourself as a leader. I hope that all of our leaders have that same standard and can rise to that as well. So we do not live in simple times. I hope that what you've learned so far starts you out on the path that you're continued learning and growing Jewishly as you will in all the other parts of your life. I hope will give you even more of a foundation in how to deal with the many challenges there are in life as you get older and how to sort through what to do in so many situations and how to act. So I hope that what you have begun here and what you will continue with us in Kollel, with Shalom, and confirmation with me, with your classmates, will continue you on that path as well. I ask you to please rise as I'm going to bless Sophie with words of priestly benediction in front of you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai v'navelecha v'chunecha. May God's countenance always shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai v'navelecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's presence always be with you. And may God give you shalom. We remain standing and we turn in our prayer books to page 586 for the Elena. We will be using the text in the middle of the page.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon ha'kol, ha'tehidu ha'le'otzeh breshit, shelo ha'samim k'nei ha'ratzon, ve'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam v'aleinu ha'em, ve'lo aleinu k'chol ha'onam, v'anachnu korim l'shachavim u'lotim, l'ifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu.
Please be seated. We turn to page 591. May we gain wisdom in our lives, overflowing like a river with understanding, loved each of us for the peace we bring to others. May our deeds exceed our speech, and may we never lift up our hand, but to conquer fear and doubt and despair. Together. We turn to page 598 in our prayer books. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. The family especially remembers the following people who are with us in spirit today: Raymond Blake, Miriam and Edward Cohen, Harvey Tickler, Helen Tickler, Janice Tickler, Pauline and Saul Tickler, Jean Forbow, Ken Forbow, Betty Grant, Howard Cutlass, Sarah and Morris Mishkin, Jeffrey Rowe, Oland Buddy Rowe, Gail Rubinger, and Daniel Bradley. We also read the names of those in our own community who the anniversary of their death falls at this time, their yard site. Murray Eisen, David Fine, Philip Gitlin, Dorothea S. Levy, Eve Levy, Etta Lilly, Dorothy Price, Samuel Schwartz, Deborah Shapiro, Alexander Singer, David A. Wallach, Emmanuel M. Wilk. We all rise as we recite together the words of the Lord's Couch. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Mavam, v'yomad yivrach v'yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael, v'agalah v'zman kariv v'yimaru amen. Yehei shmei Rabban v'rach le'olam u'le'amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal. Shemei v'kudashah b'richu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Al-miran v'yama v'yimru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba min shemaya. V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mamav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace send peace to those who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And together we say, Amen. Please be seated. Our closing song for this morning's service will be Adon Olam on page 625. Sophie has requested we do the melody that we have often done in religious school, so we have added, as is appropriate to someone in marching band, musical instruments. So I want to invite those from our religious school and any of the rest of you who would like to come up with us. In between the words of the chorus, we have our trombone, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, the Terem-Kol, Yitzir Nivra. We have bells, a flute, trombone. So please come on up. And you can all get the hang of it. You can do the words from your seats, but you can also do the hand motions. So page 625, following the closing song, please remain in your seats. We're going to make a quick kiddush, blessing the Sabbath wine, and motzi, blessing the challah, before we leave the room. And there was supposed to be challah and juice in the hallway, so you can all have a little bit as we continue with the rest of Shabbat together.
Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Ding Dong V'Yasam, V'Chetzakol, Hazai V'Lashemon Nikra, Do-do-do-do-do-do, Adon Olam, V'Aharei Kichot HaKol, V'Adon Olam, Vehu Haya, Vehu
Eloha Oz v'ha-Mizrach Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol to Tzimra Ding Dong V'Yeknasa B'chetz Soko Hazai Melech Shemo Mikra Do Adon Olam V'hu Eli V'chai Goali V'tzur Hemli B'Yetzara Adon Olam V'hu Nisi Umanos Li Minakosi B'Yom Ekra Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol to Yitzir Yira Ding Dong V'Yeknasa B'chetz Sako Hazai Melech Shemo Mikra Adon Olam V'yadon Aki Ruchi V'tisham V'Ahira Adon Olam V'Hiruchi Giliati Adonai V'lo Ira Adon Olam Adon Olam Hashem Olam B'terem kol to Yitzir Yira Ding Dong V'Yeknasa B'chetz Sako Hazai Melech Shemo Mikra Thank you all very much. I want to ask Rachel and Eric to come up to the bima, and Charlotte, you'll stay up with Sophie. We're going to make the blessing over the wine, the juice, actually grape juice and challah, and then we're going to ask you to remain in your seats to allow the family to get outside to the hallway first, so that they can greet you and you can congratulate them as you say. Okay, so Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei b'riat ha'aretz. Really, it is only grape juice, I promise. I love to watch all the faces and people think, oh, they're drinking wine. And I know it's grape juice, but please join us in blessing the bread. And we pull the bread for our blessings here. As they head off of the bima, we are going to sing them off with Siman Tov Mazel Tov, as we sang earlier to Sophie. So please join with us.
Siman Tov.